were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved.
Like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career, but also I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them I think is very important. And
because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented, and they never got the recognition that they should have. And
there we go again.
Caitlin Clark didn't say anything wrong, and she's the future of the league. Fans, players, and owners better get the in line.
As a whole becomes a part, I strike to burn, and the flame returns.
That you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved.
Like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career, but
Glad
also
she said
I grew
that.
up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them I think is very important. And
here's the thing, right? This is not considered identity politics, so please don't put it in the category of such, right? First of all, I just want to say race, if it's not political, if it's not in the political arena, if it's not being discussed for the purposes of gaining political advantage, race should not be considered identity politics, right? It's just a humanitarian issue. It's just a humanitarian issue, right? When you're talking about race and how we interact with each other, it's just a humanitarian issue. But I'm not trying to get all philosophical here. I just got to start off with that. I hate the fact that we call race politics when we're discussing it. But I stopped the video just to say, right there, she said it. She said it. She is giving credit to black players because she grew up watching black players. So regardless of what the numbers have been or how successful the black players have made the league, she's clearly stating that that's who she grew up watching. So that's who she credits. She's a young woman. It can be just as simple as that. It doesn't have to be more complicated. But let's continue.
That's something I'm very aware of. The only opinions I really care about are the people that I love, my teammates, my coaches, the people inside of our locker room.
I love that.
The people that I see every single day, and I know have my best interests at heart too. So
I'm just so thankful that you are the leader. Like, you are the chosen one in the future of the sport.
just the structure of the way media plays out race. I'm going to be very honest. I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented, and they never
come
got the
on,
recognition
see?
that they should have. And I think right now,
This is what I'm
it's time
talking
for that
about,
to
bro.
happen. So last night we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named
Hold
Player
on.
of the Year.
Hold
Why
on.
couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said,
I was waiting until she got to land her plane and where her point was. What are we talking about? Like, honestly, like, it's okay. It's okay. And by the way, I believe that's the Washington, the owner of the Washington Mystics. It's okay to give Caitlin Clark her credit. Yes. I mean, the boom of the WNBA or women's basketball in general stemmed from the Angel Reese-Caitlin Clark rivalry. But understand, Caitlin Clark is the star, the basketball star. In basketball terms, she is the star and the most, the bigger attraction out of that duo and out of that rivalry. I mean, she proved it when she got to the WNBA, and the Indiana Fever were the most watched team, I would say, by far. I mean, the playoffs flopped because Caitlin Clark wasn't in them. So, I mean, all of this equal opportunity praise, it's okay to praise Caitlin Clark and give her praise for, you know, Michael Jordan type praise for saving the game and possibly bringing it into a new prosperous era. Give her credit, man.
the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have.
It's Caitlyn,
Because
bro.
when you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings.
So
And
what?
So now you're starting to hear stories of racism within the WNBA, and I don't want to hear that. We have got to operate and become
Don't
stronger
talk about it.
as a league and respect everybody that's playing.
Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she being bullied for acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
Well, a couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase "my truth," I immediately then discount everything else you say, because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
That's not true.
your brain has
That
been
is
captured
true.
by
I'm sorry.
something that I don't
I'm
really
sorry,
respect.
Kevin,
that's
true.
Number two.
That's not true.
Number two.
I don't like my
The
truth
attention the
either.
league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player.
Depending
the
on the
arenas were full
context,
when she
but
played
I
in them.
really don't
the TV
like
ratings were
my
up when she
truth
was
in
on
most
television.
contexts.
That's undeniable. But the league still lost like $40 million this
Sure.
year, and it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about having respecting people who built something, what did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean, what
to
did they
possibly-
build? What do you mean, what did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
The reason why it's still up and still running, whether it's losing money or not, is because of these black women who are in this.
Isn't it because
And
of the
so,
investors?
no,
No,
stop it. You stop it now.
It's not. I was in Dickie's arena.
Who pays for it?
I was in Dickie's
Stop
arena.
it.
Let me just say, I was.
It says more about the people who are getting offended by it
Yeah.
than
That's what I just
her.
said.
I think they're just disappointed that she appears to have been captured by the woke mob.
You don't like
She
the
might
word.
be
And here's
racist.
the point.
I
I feel a little bad for her, because she's going to learn that it will never be enough. No matter how much of the phrasing, no matter how much of the groveling you do, it will never be enough for the people in that league that hate her guts. It will never satisfy.
assume
They hate her guts.
Why do
Yes,
you
they
assume
do.
that
They
she
do not.
is trying to pander? Isn't it
Because
also,
I hear the language. It's the language of the pander. I hear the phrase white privilege. Sports is the one place where nobody on the field has any privilege at all.
Very
She doesn't
true.
get extra points when she shoots because she's white. She gets the same number of points as anybody else. Sports
Very
is the great
true.
equalizer, and it just felt like to a lot of people that she
Supposed
was
to be.
groveling for no reason, because she is an amazing player who deserves all the accolades she's getting right now for doing what she's doing for women's basketball.
all right,
They getting it cracking in here the way I like it.
All right, let's get right into it, right? And let's leave off to the point that Scott was saying, right? She feels like she's groveling. And honestly, I think we all know that speaks to the side of the country that has made this a political issue. Maybe some may be prejudiced, maybe not. You never know. But it just speaks to the political differences and how it breaks down, because when Caitlin Clark came out in support of Kamala Harris, there was a whole side of the country of her fans that all but lost their shit. Now, because you like her on the basketball court, does that necessarily mean that she has to agree with your politics? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. And if it does, you may have to look yourself in the mirror. I appreciated the fact that Caitlin Clark barely said a word all year when she had people speaking for her and speaking against her, right? She just balled up. And I think she gained a lot more respect from many people when she did that. I wish she didn't, come out in support of Kamala Harris or say what she just said. I mean, it's just, she just made the debate about her more polarizing and the noise more louder for a player who seems to not like that, or who seems to want to get away from that. I think she would have been good just, not saying anything at all. But on the other hand, it is good to see where she stands, or giving both sides a point of where she stands, which is neutral. She just wants to play ball. I believe there were white women, individual white women players who certainly made the league as popular or became as popular characters or figures in the WNBA as any other black players in history, right? My favorite WNBA player of all time is Lisa Leslie. I loved Lisa Leslie, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean the league was built on black players. Now, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Like the NBA, the WNBA is made up of mostly black players. Absolutely. Mostly black players, right? But it was Magic and Larry Bird who kind of transformed the league before Michael Jordan ultimately came in and made it an individual sport. But I digress. Ultimately, I think the WNBA will be a better league and better off just for highlighting who the fans want to see and who the fans are asking for. Take all your feelings out of it, because the owners and the GMs, and there's a lot of women in charge, and there's a lot of women that are putting a lot of emotion into the notoriety that Caitlin Clark is getting. And honestly, it's not fair. It's not fair for her to go into a league, to have to play in a league. This is from my standpoint, to have to play in a league where everybody is trying to steal the credit that she has clearly deserved, that she noted that she deserves everything she's getting. But for her to have to play in a league where every day there are people resenting her for making their lives better, it's just not fair. It's just not fair, man. And somebody got to get their minds right. But shout out to Caitlin Clark, man. Hopefully she carries this league into a new frontier and they make a lot more money, because it looks like she's on the verge of it, as long as she keeps being exciting in her basketball play and not backing down to her critics and looking like Mel Gibson. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you like the content, hit the notification bell. And with that said, hopefully you've been entertained and informed while passing this precious time that we have, and hopefully I have earned your sub. I go by the name of Mac. This has been Doing It for GP. Till next time.
Get the out of here, bitches!
Never did me, I spit the truth. Call you aware, fear-driven niggas get the boot. All of you squares couldn't fit up in my circle. All of us rare and will hurt you severe. Slow your roll, nigga, patience is a virtue.